have a chance of winning a world title in 2018. Got on a roll in France with a big win there, and this can be his maiden voyage, Peter, to a world title. But let's take a look at some of the replays. These are some waves that happened during that profile. It looks like Julian Wilson just appeared on the barrel somehow.
Well, he came into your screen flying out of a tube in the red jersey, gets himself a 7.5 to start the heat. Best score of the day. One of the best barrels we've seen.
Julian Wilson hopefully having we'll get back to the Wilson conversation because our local wild card, Vasco Ribeiro, up and riding. Great Triple Crown run and earned his way onto the championship tour. A couple replays here, Pete.
Nice start for Vasco. Straight into the lip, just the one maneuver. Experience competing in this event in the past and had success with it. Him and Federico were two wild cards, walked in and they were giant killers. So expect Vasco to be very comfortable here at Supertubos, and also one of the Portuguese surfers that is a very, very popular one. These sections in front of him, he goes for it. As we watch Conor O'Leary putting together a pretty good wave. I mean, we see 4 5s and 5s start to count this morning.
In an interview, Wilkinson took him down in France, doesn't want to even get close to another one of those. You know he wants to win here. Julian Wilson opened up with a 7.5, looking to back it up, making his way through some jumbly water, no problem. 2 backhand off the tops for Wilson in quick succession, and he is going to get rid of that fractional score that we see up on the screen right now and increase his lead, Peter.
Gets a number straight out of the gates, then is able to back it up, and then he goes out there freewheeling, and when he starts to freewheel,
here we go.
Feels kind of good when you make it to the top 100 on your fantasy picks. Pretty rare for me, but...
Wilson goes down. Have you ever been in the top 100?
For a hot second.
The professor.
Have Zeke on your team again?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have Keanu on your team?
Here we go. And nothing happening there for Julian Wilson. He did get a 3.93 to increase his lead over O'Leary and Ribeiro. However, on the previous wave, we're down 1/3 of the heat, 20 minutes remaining on the clock.
And in a great place.
And Julian Wilson has other thoughts. He wants to take the title race to Pipeline, and he's doing a good job in this heat. Vasco Ribeiro.
He is literally looking 3 minutes ahead max. You know, like I think that you don't want to go too far. As we watch the replay here from Vasco on the backhand, so very solid both on his backhand as well as his forehand. Obviously winning his world title in Air Serra, right there up the road from his home.
Warming up for the next heat that you're going to want to stick around for, but it's going to be a mental test just as much as a physical test for Felipe Toledo.
The physical part of it is that you can control that and how much time you put into it. And you can see Felipe is definitely focusing on that, bringing in his trainer.
Wilson drives off the bottom, right up in the lip air.
Wow.
Just weightless onto the flats. A dynamic one maneuver away for Julian Wilson, and he is looking switched on. Momentum continues from his big win in France.
Was a crazy section. The entire roof and lip section that rides the critical section, but you see how he actually gets the release just before he's going to land. Underneath it, watch out. He has to release to ride out so he doesn't come down with the explosion. Lack of control on the finish. Was that complete?
Was that complete? There's my question for you.
Definitely a question mark. We'll see what the judges say. He controlled the maneuver, but did he ride out into the flats? And that's something that the judges have been very critical on. So I like what they did there. As we see a beautiful looking left and a deep barrel. Does he make it out? And he does. So this is an answer for Conor O'Leary.
On the hunt. Conor O'Leary, good looking wave here. O'Leary tucks in the barrel very deep, and that
feels like we're starting to turn a corner here for conditions. Tapering off quickly, he just goes for the one big air. Saw it to great success in France. Matter of fact, he won. And a lot of that came down to that huge air at the very end of the heat against Callahan. And as a wild card, you're going to be a lower seed. He's up and riding.
Speaking of Ribeiro, bangs off the top, eases through a cutback there. Another hack off the top, back into the lip for the completion. So nice ending the heat, nice ending of the wave for Vasco Ribeiro.
Of course, it has to be higher than a 4.5. Get himself out of combo, which means then he only needs one wave. Has to be a good one. And this wave ton of maneuvers. Tags that first section. Really the only opportunity to really do a good solid maneuver. He found it. The timing is impeccable. And the finish, little 2 turns, bangs it, and then see the exit, the dive penetration goes out the back of the wave, and he's paddling hard because it's not an easy paddle out. We do have the ski assist, or not the ski assist in action right now, but they are on the one of the hugest we've seen in competition from him.
O'Leary barrel seeking again through the cave and finds an exit. Wraps a cut back there. Connor O'Leary, 8.67 is the number if he wants to steal this heat from Julian Wilson. He's not going to give up on this wave, bringing it all the way to shore, trying to accumulate just fraction more of points. Finish. Ooh. Oncoming section, meets it with some strength and a big snap. 8.67 the requirement. Stepping on the beach is going to wait to hear the news. What do you think?
Pretty cool. You know, riding that Rick Merrick. There was a question mark in your head like, oh, is he going to make it? And it came flying out. Beautiful setup, too, from behind the peak. The intensity of the wave, though, it's hard to say that that's going to be excellent. Definitely in the beginning of the heat, you're like, oh, good start, but it doesn't feel like it's going to go quite 8.67. But I love the determination. He stays with it. You know, it's the last minute of the heat. Knows that it's probably going to be tough to get back out into the lineup. But it feels to me that Julian Wilson's going to stay here in the #1 spot. That's what I've been looking for, is the fact that he's keeping it up.
Coming up next, Felipe Toledo, Thomas Hermes, Miguel Blanco, and Joan Potts.